Do you apologise even when you haven't done anything wrong? Have you ever felt sorry for someone even though they're hurting or abusing you? Do you try to help people even when they don't ask for your help? Do you try to fix or save people? Do you need to feel liked by others even if you don't like them? Do you feel like you have no sense of self? Does saying no make you feel guilt or shame? Do you value other people's opinions above your own? If you answered yes to any of those questions, you may well be codependent. A codependent is someone who looks outside of themselves for their sense of identity and worth. Codependency, and the term codependent, is often used to describe someone who finds themselves in abusive relationships, maybe going from abusive relationship to abusive relationship. Codependency doesn't just exist in romantic relationships. We can be codependent in family roles, friendship. We can be codependent at work or in business. Someone who's codependent will have poor boundaries, and they'll have an inability to say no to things that they don't want to do or things that go against their best interest. A codependent assumes responsibility for meeting another person's needs before meeting their own. Someone who's codependent will feel like they need to be needed. Being needed is how a codependent gets a sense of self-worth. The longer a person spends in a codependent relationship, the more they will lose their own sense of identity. So what causes codependency? Codependency is one of the symptoms of CPTSD, or complex post-traumatic stress disorder. Other CPTSD symptoms include an inability to regulate emotions, feelings of low self-worth, and dysfunctional relationships. Relationships are often very intense and short-lived. CPTSD can be caused by growing up with dysfunction, and some people say that 80% of people's childhoods are bad enough to create CPTSD. When we grow up in such an environment, putting other people's needs before our own can become a strategy to avoid taking on further trauma or to deal with the fear of abandonment, fear of rejection. And growing up with dysfunction also causes toxic shame. When we take on toxic shame, happiness can no longer be found inside ourselves. So we need to look outside of ourselves to feel okay. And someone who has grown up with a lot of dysfunction and taken on a lot of toxic shame may look to possessions and other people to get some sense of self-worth and to feel like they're worthy, like they're good enough. Becoming comfortable saying no is the first step to overcoming codependency. You also need to be prepared to lose people, because if people have been used to you being a doormat and doing what they want, they may become abusive when you say no. They may become angry when you say no. They may try to emotionally blackmail and manipulate you when you start telling them no. So you need to be prepared to take that as a sign that those people are toxic, and you need to be prepared to cut them from your life. You can become comfortable saying no and start to overcome codependency by healing your inner child, increasing feelings of self-worth, and starting to see yourself as a good object, as someone who's worthy of defending. I have a whole workshop on this subject, and we'll talk about other ways that you can overcome codependency, talk about ways that you can connect with and heal your inner child, release that toxic shame, and to start to be able to say no, to start to be able to put yourself first. Check the comments below for a link to all my future workshops. You can also find a link where you can book a free call with me to find out more about one-to-one therapy, to find out more about how I can help you to overcome anxiety, to heal your inner child, and to stop that people-pleasing behaviour.